Welcome back, True Seeker. Not even in the title, wasn't even planning on talking about it. Right as I was setting up the stream, I saw the breaking news and I said, good gracious. Pope Leo the 14th, the first American Pope. Remember that came right after Trump did the joke on 5-5 with him as the Pope. And of course, this Pope was born in 55. Of course, in Gematria, Satan equals 55, like the highest degree of the Church of Satan is Mega. MAGA, same way Trump does it, Mr. Self-Worshipper, when that is the highest tenet of Satanism. But anyway, again, the Pope went to Villanova. And don't forget who told you before he was even named the Pope that the Pope was going to have something to do with Philadelphia. Villanova just sits outside Philly. It's because he's the 267th Pope, and Philly's the 267. But look at this, you guys. He became Pope on May 8th. Remember, Pope Leo LIV, the small way, is 58, like May 8th, 5-8. Augustine of Hippo is 85. You can write May 8th, 8-5 or 5-8. He's the first Augustinian Pope. But here's the thing. From the day he became Pope to this shooting at his school is 105 days later. Now, that number is special alone, but look at the base ciphers. Look at Pope Leo. Pope Leo is 105, right? His birthday is September 14th. That's 24 days from today. So 24 days to his upcoming birthday, 105 days after he became Pope, this, at his school, where he went to school. You know what I mean? And again, I hate when people come by and are like, you must spend all day trying to put this stuff together. You guys, I put this together in 2 seconds. I mean, that might be a slight estimate. It didn't even take 10 seconds, though. And part of the reason I already knew, I keep track of how many days it is since he became Pope because they use this in the rig sports rituals. They've been syncing up the Cubs and the White Sox and the Cardinals, the teams he's all connected to, since he became Pope. And one of my favorite rituals was when the Cubs got their 58th win 58 days before his birthday because, again, you want to get extra technical with it. Pope Leo XIV, his full title, it is 58, like he became Pope on 5-8. And Augustine of Hippo, again, is 85. He's the first Augustinian Pope. May 8th can be written 5-8 or 8-5. But yeah, that wasn't even a planned part of the stream. And there's probably more to it. There's probably more to it. How old Villanova is. You know, college basketball, not too far off. Villanova's usually got a pretty competitive program, but they've been on a little down stretch since they lost Slick Willie, who looks like a gangster, after winning a number of titles there in a short span of time. And don't forget Villanova. Hey, speaking of Villanova and this Pope, remember the first ever March Madness was in '85, and Villanova, the Catholic school, beat the Jesuit school Georgetown in '85. Just reminding who runs the show. But yeah, just the power of this knowledge. When you know what's going on, and why wouldn't you think rituals would be synced up with the Pope? Is this 52-week calendar, the Gregorian calendar, not named after a Pope? You know what I mean? So, I already covered this earlier, but let's just scan over it again real quick, since we're talking religion. James Dobson's dead. And again, James Dobson, religious right leader, focus on the family, show watched by millions constantly. Somebody who made a lot of money off religion, not as much as the Catholic Church, but hey, he's in the runner-up category. But again, just how perfect this ritual is, him dead at 89, this very specific number to Christianity. The gospel, where the words of Jesus are, 89 chapters. 4 books, 89 chapters in the gospel. He's dead exactly 4 months on the nose after his birthday. He has the same birthday as Rome, April 21st. And that's, of course, the Pope died this year on April 21st by the numbers. But he was a James, and of course, King James is another thing connected to Christianity, the most known Protestant Bible, the King James Bible. So this is James Dobson, dead at 89. And again, you look at this, he's dead on 74 date numerology, a number we've talked about so many times in regards to Jesus and also killing. Again, you see how these words up here, gospel, Jesus, Messiah, cross, parables, they're all 74. Add to that same list. Again, you get these values by just taking the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. You just add up the words as a math equation. G, the first letter in gospel. G's the 7th letter. O's the 15th, S is the 19th, P's the 16th, E's the 5th, L's the 12th. You put it together, gospel 74. Same thing with each letter. Same thing with each word. English in the same cipher, 74. Gematria, the practice coding numbers in the word, 74. Jewish, 74. Jesus was from Judea. In English, we have this word Jewish to talk about a person like Jesus who was Jewish. Occult is 74. Masonic is 74. Killing is 74. Holiday is 74, which means holy day. Jesus has more holy days than anybody here in the West. And of course, again, I always like to mention it, 3 of the first 5 presidents all dead on 7-4, and they were all outspoken against the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. Adams and Jefferson on the same day, July 4th, 1826. 1,826 days later, Monroe dead on 7-4. Now, I do want to make a point, too, about today's date numerology path. It is a 74 path. The life lesson number path gives you a smaller number, which is 38. And notice 74 and 38 both break down to the same thing. 74 is 7 plus 4 is 11. 38 is 3 plus 8 is 11. Both of them, 1 plus 1 is 2. It's always going to be that way. But 74 and 38 are deadly numbers. So killing is 74 and 38. So is Gematria. Remember, Slipknot has the song Gematria, the killing name. And don't forget, you see how Gematria is 52 like Pope? They performed that song for the first time ever 52 days before the Pope died, and they said they would only perform it for the Pope, and the song's pretty old, but they had never performed it before because it's complicated. And not to mention they performed it on the 59th day of the year like Pope Francis 59. That was February 28th. And again, Francis, he became the Pope after Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year. And then, of course, in the 59th election, we told you way in advance, they installed Biden number 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Again, Catholics 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. The only other Catholic president, JFK, smoked at 46. Beau Biden dead at 46. Don't forget, JFK was number 35, killed on I-35. These are the base ciphers. Alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards with numerology. Please don't be the person that says I talk too fast because it's the internet. You can slow down the speed. You can rewind the video. Part of the reason I talk so fast about these things is because I've said them 10 gazillion times and I'm sick of saying them, and it makes me sick that the whole world doesn't know about it at this point. And a lot of that has to do with Google and what they've done to this channel with the mass deletions and now the super shadow banning. This is information every English-speaking person deserves to know. Who controls your world? Who gave you your calendar? Who gave you your language? Who gave you your fake, false beliefs that have literally ruined a lot of your minds? Religion has ruined your mind. Belief in authority has ruined your mind. Thinking that you should watch news to get information is ruining your mind and has already ruined your mind. But you can fix it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about being a human. You can correct your problems. You're a fat slob right now. You can do something about it, and you can turn yourself into a Greek god. You can go from fat slob to Greek god. That is the beauty of being a human being. You can go from a total retard who knows nothing to a brilliant, intelligent person by applying yourself. Problem is, a lot of people are lazy. And that's also what slave school did to us. It made us hate learning. It made us resent learning. It made us resent education because it wasn't really education. It was just theft of our time, indoctrination, being made stupid. Imagine you learned this in school. Imagine how your perspective on the world would be different. And the thing is, had you learned this as a child, it doesn't matter how old you are right now, there's no way you'd deny this because you would have just witnessed this going on your whole life. Just like how I learned this as a 30-year-old and now I'm 42. And I mean, ever since I learned it, it's just like, God, I mean. Now, the problem is indoctrinated people, they don't want to learn, right? And what's funny is when I learned this, I was mostly sharing this information with a community of other teachers, and they thought I had lost my mind, I still remember this one girl who, her name was Shelly. She thought, literally I had developed some kind of mental illness. She was very concerned. And again, I mean, she was always a nice person, but also a very naive person, and I won't go into it, but yeah, it's just, dumb people all come to the same program conclusions. They think questioning authority is some kind of mental illness, where really it's probably closer to the exact opposite. And the people who are actually probably closer to mentally ill are the people who believe the liars who lie to them every single day and believe in these bullshit stories. Shelley was religious, case in point. I know she was quite religious, one of those church-going people. And I mean, really, if you weren't indoctrinated and you could stand back and look at this from the outside in, you'd be like, God, what a load of bullshit. Why does anyone believe in that? Are you kidding me? God's a sacrificial maniac? I don't think so. I don't think so. Only thousands of years ago did burning bushes talk to people. You just got to believe it. The word with lie right in the middle. I mean, literally, that's the thing, too. These people make it so surface level, the mockery every day, and it goes right over people's heads. Like LeBron winning on the real King James's birthday, and nobody even notices. Do you remember when I had to debate that loser that's been made viral on the internet, and he didn't even know that LeBron was called King James? And he started like Googling. He's like, well, why are you calling him King James? Like, I just looked up on the internet and they call him the Akron Hammer. Why not call him the Akron Hammer? It's like, dude, do you know how dumb you sound right now? Everybody knows his damn name is King James. There's a reason he came in the league and played 42 minutes in his first game. Not to mention his name equals 42 like LeBron James, but against the Kings. And don't even get me started on it. Don't even get me started. But yeah. And don't forget, the day he won on the real King James's birthday, he won 93, another biblical number. The Warriors went down with 89 to King James on the real King James's birthday. But yeah, I was also making the point that, 105 days after the Pope's birthday, I almost wrote the Pope Leo part up here, but I just left it at Bible because this is all a tribute to the gospel, dead on the 21st. 105 days after the new Pope. I knew that part wasn't an accident. But now you just see it. Breaking news later in the day. Oh, the Pope sold school. 105 days after he became Pope, 24 days before his upcoming birthday. I'm sure it's all just a coincidence. I'm sure. Do you know how dumb you have to be to think this is a coincidence? Do you know how dumb you have to be to automatically go like, I think it's just a coincidence. I mean, you got to be really stupid. You got to be really stupid, and that is the real problem. Yesterday's caller was expressing that. He's like, Zach, I think the real problem at this point is people are just too dumb to get it. And what we're laying down isn't rocket science. These aren't complex mathematical equations. There's a math level where every human being begins to struggle, and you have to really apply yourself to learn it. Advanced levels of calculus, case in point. I remember my first calculus class, man. It was the first time I struggled with math. I had to really apply myself. And this isn't that. This is what you learn in second grade, really. You learn how to read and write. By second grade, you know the alphabetic order. You know how to add basic math. 1 plus 1 is 2. You probably went home. Well, that's another thing. They really are making people stupider. Back when I was a student in school, you would go home with homework each day and you'd probably have 20 math problems to add up. And then when you learn multiplication, you have 20 math problems to multiply it. Now what they do with kids is they got them doing like 2 of this problem, 2 of this problem. They're throwing geometry at them in second grade. It's like, what the hell is this? I mean, again, some things do take repetition. It's just like, your mind is a muscle. You have to do things over and over before to really learn it. For most of us, it's just like working out in the gym. You gotta really work those muscles hard to get them to where they need to be, and everything they do. And it's crazy how many things Bill Gates is connected to, because Bill Gates is very much connected to what's happened in the public schools in the last 20 years. At least they put it on him with. I've been out of the school system so long, I can't remember what the damn word is for it, but it's the thing that made it so second graders were doing 1 to 2 problems of 20 different math things at once rather than mastering the basics and advancing from there, which is, I would say, the correct way to do it. Anyway, I see Lil Nas X is in the headlines too. Poor DMX died on his birthday, and nobody got that joke either. Darkman X, 49, dead on 4-9. Not to mention what they did to him with the frozen vegetable ritual 6 days earlier on 4-3/21. The countdown in tribute to the song 4-3-2-1 with LL Cool J and DMX. Again, where LL closes out saying he's the greatest of all time, like GOAT's 43, and he has channel 43 on Sirius XM, and that was right after Brady's GOAT ritual, age 43. All right, but, he's dead on the 74-38 date numerology. Again, if you're new here, 38 is deadly. Death is 38. Murder's 38. Killing's 38. RIP's 38. I often show the Murder by Numbers movie poster that codes a big fat 38 right on the cover. Again, Pentagon's 38. The nation's killing department on the 38th parallel. But how about this one right here? Famous Mexican singer gunned down at 38. How many 38s have we covered in just the last week? How many 38 deaths have there been in the world of celebrity and entertainment in just the last week? How many? I mean, it's funny. I can't even remember them all. I got amnesia too. I'd say at least 4. Been at least 4 in the last week. I mean, he's part of the great group called Enigma Norteño. I probably said that wrong, but do you see the big fat 201? And actually, let me write out this group name because there's more to it. Enigma Norteño. You see the 150 and 69? Illuminati, 150 and 69. Do you see the 201, like Order of Illuminati? Remember, they like to put these numbers together a lot. It's like Alec Baldwin, born on the 93rd day of the year, had Brandon Lee buried on his birthday in 93 on the 93rd day of the year. And then when he shot the Ukrainian woman on the set of Rust right before Ukraine-Russia broke out, it was 201 days after his birthday on the 93rd day of the year, and he shot her at 1:50 local time. So this group has a lot of the Illuminati numbers, and they're saying what this guy was known for was promoting drugs, promoting drug use. And you can just tell that's some kind of stereotype, right? Because when we think of the U.S., we go, where all the drugs come from? Oh, they all come from Mexico. But what we've exposed 1,000 times is these El Chapos and, the numerous other cartels and names that you know. They all seem to trace back to this Jesuit order. And that should make sense because it's a Catholic thing. And when you think of south of the U.S., I mean, we're talking about 99 percentile of the people down there are Catholic. And for all you Hispanic Catholics, don't you think it's kind of pathetic? I like Mexican and Hispanic people a lot, but I kind of feel like where you guys are pathetic is that you're Catholic. Do you understand that the Catholics came in and slaughtered your ancestors and said, get on your knees, pussy, or convert? And actually, it was both of those at the same time. It was get on your knees and convert, pussy, or get your head lopped off. And a lot of you guys, Hispanic or not, you believe in this shit too, and that's how it is. That is how it spread across the world for the most part. Sure, they might have got more clever in later years with missionaries and oh yeah, what a great story we have, and this is the way to get the eternal afterlife and all this other nonsense. But don't forget, the Illuminati, you guys, was founded by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt. So anyway, Enigma Norteño, singer, dead at 38, gunned down. And they used the word narcotic in the story. So I said, oh, narcotics 38, and when you run it in reverse, 52. The day he was killed was Bill Clinton's birthday. There's probably some kind of Bill Clinton joke in here. You know how they put out that movie with Tom Cruise a few years back and made it seem like it was supposedly based on a true story? I forget what it was called. But they made it seem like he was some renegade military guy that really brought a lot of drugs into the U.S., just working with a few corrupt politicians. Like, it's not like some big CIA operation. And don't forget, too, Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America, the words in their logo equal 201, just like their motto, order. Jeez, I must be tired. The work of a nation, the center of intelligence. Their motto is 201. And, of course, the CIA was founded on the 201st day of the sitting Pope's age at the time, Pope Pius XII, September 18th, 47. But, yeah, gunned down at 38, and his surname, Barajas, I can't say it. I've been 30 years since I've been in Spanish class. Barajas, oh boy, I better stop. 52. 52, like the date numerology. And, the lesser date numerology is 52. The full date numerology was 72. And, of course, that one's huge with the Jesuits, whose logo's the sun that moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. Jesus sends out the 72 missionaries, 72 names of God in Kabbalah, 72 demons in the Goetia. President Chump. Actually, the real, well, is it even the real name? I mean, the family name was Drumpf. They changed it to Trump. But President Trump, of course, 72. Jesuit educated. So, yeah, he died August 19th. Bill Clinton also Jesuit educated. Oh, sorry, I got off tangent on the Tom Cruise movie. The reason I was bringing that up is because Tom Cruise is bringing all the drugs in through Arkansas, which of course is Slick Willie State. Bill Clinton. So, and you know something, I don't think, I have a feeling that Bill Clinton's real birthday is not August 19th. Again, for everyone who doesn't know, let me show you something. Bill Clinton's biological father, a lot of people don't know this. He wasn't born Clinton. His biological father's name is Blythe. But you see how this guy's last name equals 52 forwards, 137 in reverse? Bill Clinton's biological father was murdered May 17th, 1946, and his body was found in a ditch. But on a road trip from Chicago, where Hillary's from, back to Arkansas, where obviously Bill was born before his mom married into the New York political dynasty, the Clintons, which is where he gets the name. Like how there was the bombing in New York right after he became president, 93 bombing. 93 Illuminati. But yeah, his dad was found dead in a ditch on May 17th, the 137th day of the year. And again, that's the 33rd prime. And, you know, Clinton's 33. So Clinton's birthday is the day that's exactly 33 days in the year. It just makes me go, is this even real? Is this like all just like... But what if the whole backstory is even fake too? What if none of that's true? What if he didn't have a biological father, found dead in a ditch? I mean, again, it's just like... You know, it looks like Crowley's daughter is actually Barbara Bush, and it looks like Taylor Swift probably is Anton LaVey's daughter. I mean, a lot of these people that are put up on the world stages have totally fake backstories. So anyway, Bill Clinton very well is one of them. Number 42, they called him the first black president. And, of course, Georgetown's got the 42. You see how Razorbacks is 42? Remember, it was like the only time their basketball team was ever good when the Arkansas guy was in office, and nobody catches on to this shit, which is super annoying. But anyway, Ernesto is dead exactly 33 weeks in the year. Of course, Mexico and Mexican 33. We're talking about what they did this year with taking the National Guard to California for the first time in 33 years since 92. Which is because of the Rodney King riots, which happened on 3/3 when police and LAPD are 33. But 92 was also the year NAFTA was passed by the government, which wasn't instituted until Bill Clinton took office. But it was NAFTA that destroyed... you know what? As I just talk about it out loud, it's starting to make more sense to me. NAFTA destroyed Mexican agriculture, which did create a lot of illegal immigration into the U.S. because people had to go where the work was. And there were politicians like Byron Dorgan who were warning that if we... Again, go back and listen to a young Byron Dorgan back in the early 90s. You can look up his clips. Byron Dorgan warning against NAFTA. He was saying, we cannot pass this bill or we're going to destroy our neighbors' agriculture. And those people are going to have no choice but to come here for work. Now... No choice might not be exactly true because there's always a choice, but I can sympathize with anyone who needs to support themselves and their family. And again, the United States, what are we? We're supposed to be the mixing pot. We're supposed to be the land of milk and honey, the great opportunity, place where you can come and work your ass off and achieve all your dreams. This is all the story, right? And in a way you can. There's a reason foreigners do a lot better than the average American. It's like Sweet Lady, you know, America, for a lot of us who grew up here, we have it. It's like we're depressed by the time we're in 4th grade because of slave school, being away from our family, sitting in front of these fat, sloppy teachers that don't know shit about shit, that keep getting us in trouble, telling our parents we need to be on drugs because we got ADHD, because we can't sit our ass in the chair because we don't want to hear the bullshit all day. Because we know it's bullshit. Until enough years of indoctrination, I think you just turn into a thing and you just go, yeah, just go along to get along so I don't get in trouble. But anyway, the point I'm making is, can you imagine the scenario where a guy, you know, he had a farm. He was supporting his family, and now all of a sudden NAFTA's passed. He can't sell his crops for jack shit. He's essentially a slave on a plantation because you work your ass off. My whole field now is worth jack shit. All that corn's not worth nothing. I can't, if I sell all that corn out there, I can't even pay a month's worth of expenses, because that's what happened after NAFTA. Can you imagine some of those guys being like, well, you know, Dad always told me to stay away from the cartel because it's dangerous, but there's the job. Maybe it's time to go work for the cartel because, man, I can actually make even more than I was making before. Isn't that kind of like what they did to a lot of communities in the US, purposely destroyed them, and now those are the communities that are ridden with drugs and people selling drugs and people ending up in prison for slave labor for corporations, making 2 cents an hour while they manufacture this for this corporation? Isn't this also going on in the US on certain levels? Isn't this probably going on all over the world on certain levels? Hasn't the US gone into all kinds of nations and killed leaders and said, oh, they were a communist, so we had to kill them. And the next thing you know, like all of a sudden you're looking at your label and you're like, huh, my shirt is from that country. That's interesting. Because we turned them into a bunch of slave labor over there in the name of communism. It was communism that we had to go kill him because he was a communist. It's like weird. So now there's no jobs here because we use that country because the labor's way cheaper. I actually looked up what that leader that they said was a communist was talking about. He was talking about bringing wealth to his people. Getting independent from this global machine that's exploiting their people. Is that communism? Or is that somebody who sees through the New World Order? You know what I mean? Because it was back even, I'm talking about this NAFTA thing in 92. It was 1990 where, we had the first Bush in office talking about a New World Order. It will be realized. It'll be a world free or a terror. Talking about it, ironically, 11 years to the day of the World Trade Centers come crumbling down. Just happened to be 11 years to the day on the 11th. New York, the 11th state. Papa Bush was the 11th director of the CIA. And they said he was real big with the drugs too, huh? That's why they actually call him Poppy Bush. Iran-Contra, all that stuff. Weapons smuggling, drug smuggling. Okay, so here. Do you remember how Jeff Bezos recently sold $666 million of Amazon shares? Do you guys remember this headline? That was on 7/8, right? On 7/8. So from that day to his mom's death on August 14th was 38 days. And then his mom died at 78. What have I always said about big tech? Haven't I always said it's totally Jesuit? These people are all Jesuit puppets. Jesuit 78. Haven't I said this a gazillion times? What do you think about that? You think that's an accident? Sells $660 million in shares on 7/8, and then mom's dead at 78, 38 days later. What do you think? Guy who made it big in the technology sector. And that's the thing, too. It's just, remember, 2020 was 52 years after 2001: A Space Odyssey came out about technology and AI overtaking man, and Jeff Bezos was one of the biggest beneficiaries of what happened in 2020. But run it the other way, technology is 38. And, I mean, you could argue that technology is killing people because, like a slow kill. Actually, I think that's, maybe we need to start incorporating that more. It's a little bit of a mental jump, but I mean, look at the youth, right? I mean, when I see all these little fat kids out here, I think, how long are they going to live? And I know why they're all fat, because they don't play outside anymore. They're playing video games all day. You know what else is a sad thing that I think about? I wonder how many young kids are addicted to internet porn at a young age. That's another thing I think about, and what the consequences of that'll be. I guess that's the reason, like, sometimes, I don't know. I just, when I was a kid growing up, we had one of those things that if you got the cheap cable box and it was like $5 a month, you'd get this thing that was like in a VHS thing, then computer chip, and you'd put it on the corner of the thing and you'd hold the button for 10 seconds. And then it would like program the cable box to have every channel. I'm just saying, when I was a kid, that's what was going on in our house. So we had every channel for free pretty much. And I just remember my sister's boyfriend, he would always come over and put on the Spice Channel. And I was a little kid, right? Because my sister and him are 12 years older than me. So I'd be like 6 years old. I knew I was not supposed to be watching that. So I'd usually just like run out of the room. He wasn't doing that when other people were around, but sometimes, like they'd be in the house or he'd be out there. I remember the guy was like, okay, I need to run away from that. I'm not supposed to see. You just know at a young age you're not supposed to, but the internet's a different thing and now everybody has the phone in their pocket and the internet. I just think about all the ways technology's really screwed up people. And it really, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. There's great things about technology too, but I feel like it's done more harm than good when you look at society. And I don't think anybody's going to make an argument for any other thing. Yeah, in certain regards, there's great things about technology, but again, you look at society right now, super unhealthy, antisocial. It's not good. Remember, Bezos, his wedding was June 27th as well. Big 187 day. Seen a lot of deaths on that day in history. 187, homicide code. His mom's dead right after, right? Don't forget, Society of Jesus, the formal title for Jesuits, is 187. He took over the world at age 56. And then, what was funny is I didn't realize his first marriage was to the woman on 9/4. They got married on 9/4. I've always talked about Jeff Bezos in 94 and Seattle, Washington, 94 and Alien 94. Remember, Bill Gates and Bezos, they both started their businesses in New Mexico. And New Mexico and Seattle, they both have their business up in Seattle now. Well, now Amazon's moved their headquarters to Washington, D.C., but again, and Bezos launched Amazon in 94. The same year that Bill and Melinda Gates got married on January 1st, and then Kurt Cobain, the Seattle superstar, died 94 days later. Again, 206 days before Bill Gates' birthday. Seattle area code, but again, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, especially Bezos, they are two of the weirdest looking men. And if they live Israel, like Roddy Piper said when he put out his tweet on the Jesuit order's birthday, remember that movie came out 201 days after his birthday. He said on the Jesuit anniversary of being recognized by Rome, September 27th, that it was a documentary, and then he ended up dying on the feast day for Ignatius Loyola, the founder. But he says a documentary. Like, huh. So if it's true, I mean, I'm not saying that means it's literally true, but if somehow, some way he found out that it was literally true, that there's people that look just like us, but they're actually some kind of alien superior people, and you need the special glasses to see them. I mean, you got to think that guys like Bezos and Gates, I mean, they could be it. You know, again, you got to have an open mind. I'd lean more towards that's probably not the case, but Bezos is one of the strange. I mean, Bezos looks like he just looks like he belongs on the Addams family or something. I mean, there's something seriously wrong with that guy. But yeah, again, just think about Alien in 94 and 41. Remember what I always say: 1947, the year of Roswell in the 47th state. And that was the first UFO sighting was in Seattle on the 47th parallel. That's why the Space Needle's there. But then it was right after that Roswell happened. And I always pointed out that isn't it interesting that from 1947 to 2041 is 94 years. And they've been, I mean, you just see how it ramps up more and more. All these like supposed official stories on this bullshit news about, oh yeah, Pentagon making disclosures about real UFOs, possible alien. Just more and more this time goes on. What are they going to do in 2041? You know something's coming. Are aliens real? I don't know for sure, but it might become a real, it might be told that it's totally real, but it could be the thing to cement the new world order. The alien threat of 2041. You know, thank God the USA is here to, save us. We can all get under the USA's umbrella all the way officially. Not that it's not pretty much already that with all the world currencies pegged to ours for the most part, but yeah. Oh, and another thing about his mom's death, it was 214 days after his birthday. Remember, Trump does a lot of rituals with this 214, and he runs on Mega, the highest degree of the Church of Satan. Kind of interesting how Church of Satan is 214, and this seems to be synced up with Bezos' $666 million sale of Amazon stock. And why they did this, what we pointed out the day this was fresh news, is remember in the Sumerian ciphers, just multiplying the alphabet a quarter times 6, forwards and backwards, computer is 666 and internet is 666. And it's also like Genesis is 666. A lot of 6 in Genesis, including God regretting making man in Genesis 6:6 and man being made on the 6th day. But, you think about the forbidden fruit, biting the forbidden fruit. You think about arguably the biggest tech company in the world because almost everybody has their device in their pocket. Apple, All right. And then yesterday we covered this. I just want to mention again, Judge Frank Caprio dead at 88 on the 20th in 2025. And Look at this. You know, Judge, 88, dead on the 20th in 2025. He became famous in 2017, the year that Trump took office. Trump has the 88, 47, 25 connection as well. And his name, Frank Caprio, has that 68, 185, just like Donald John Trump. He did die on the 68th day of Trump's age. So I do think that, again, his death, which no one will question because he lived to 88, I do think that was another one for Mr. Mega. Mr. Mega, the guy who put in more judges at the federal level in a single term than any president in history. All right, same thing. I got about 10 minutes until I got to go get Sweet Girl. So if you got here late, I started the stream by doing an unexpected part because it wasn't part of the title, but just covering the breaking news of the mass shooting at Villanova. Totally synced with the Pope, who went to Villanova. Again, it's 105 days after he became Pope and 24 days to his upcoming birthday. And Pope Leo is 105 and 24. By the way, we got a phone call already. You were quick. I didn't even get my system all the way set up. Here, we'll just do it this way. What's up, 310?
I just want to bring up more information on the singer that died.
Okay.
Ernesto Barajas. The word Barajas in English means card deck. So 52 card decks. And then he died in Guadalajara, Jalisco. That equals 56, going with the 201 and 69.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I also want to bring up, it might be connected to the upcoming boxing fight, Canelo fight. He died, if I'm not mistaken, 28 days from the fight. The reason why is because he has this dude has a song, he talks about, basically like he sings like, it's basically you could compare it to like rap music. He sings, he used to sing, stuff about like the streets and like the drugs and all that. He has a song where he talked about this sicario that works for Chapo, and he talked about how he lives his luxury life and how he sits in boxing matches and floor seats and wastes all his money. So pretty much he's just telling a story and how he spends his money and flies to Dubai to watch boxing fights, sits with famous people and all that. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Great additions. And I'll remind that boxing match is coming up on the anniversary of Tupac's death, who got shot after a big boxing match. So yeah, I think you're onto something there. You're onto something.
All right, that was all.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. By the way, I before he called in with all that great information, I was about to say, man, I hope all of you guys who look at yourself in the mirror and wish you were in better shape, I hope you guys do something about it. I'm mad at myself that I essentially took 12 years off from the gym because I used to love the gym, and now that I'm back in there, I love the gym again. I don't even want to leave the gym. I've been putting in at least an hour. I've taken 2 days off since I re-signed up, but I didn't even want to take those 2 days off. I took them off for family days for the weekend. I just love being in the gym. What's up, 917?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I think it's from the founding of Amazon to the day of her death is 40 days, and Jeff Bezos
equals 40 the small way. 40. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to that. And on another note, I see that a TikTok influencer, he passed away. I think his name is pronounced Malik Taylor, right? He died. It said his fraternity brothers posted it on Instagram, and Malik Taylor, Taylor equals 28, and he's dead at age 28. Kill equals 28.
And
he
TikTok
asked
equals
Instagram
86. We've seen quite a few TikTok influencers bite the dust. This news breaks on 218. Death equals 218 in the cipher that pays tribute to Hebrew Gematria and Greek isopsophy. So.
That's right, correct. Also, his last Instagram post, he said made it past the 27 club or something like that. His 73rd post, his last post.
His 73rd post, like sacrifice of 73?
Yeah, Richard. Yeah. And what was there was something else with this? I forget. But yeah, this was. I seen this earlier. I was like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when the post was made. Reading this article, I see it's in the news today, but or in a video posted on Taylor's TikTok just one day before the news of his death became public. So, okay, so they broke this news on 73 date numerology, like sacrifice and ritual sacrifice for 73, and you said it was his 73rd post where he said he made it past the 27 club.
Yeah, and I see his birthday is July 2nd.
They make a big deal about his fraternity. It's got a 10/5/1904 founding date. So so the news that it was released yesterday that he died August 20th. So 11 days to the end of August, 30 to the end of October. Hold on. 11 days to the end of August, 30 to the end of September, 5 to October 5th. That's 46 days. Like sacrifice is 46, like Genesis. So think about that, you guys. It's a 73-46 ritual again. We see this all the time. These numbers come together all the time in these suspicious deaths. 73-46. And again, 46.
Zach, put it on the screen for them. Put on the date calculator so they can see, because seeing is believing. You know.
You think they don't trust my math about 46 days?
But seeing is believing, and these people are
boom
to the cause.
Boom.
You know.
R.I.P. Same shit over and over.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead at 28, killed 28. You know. And then about the Bezos 40 days from Amazon's founding. So, and she was from the Masonic City, D.C. I think she was born there.
Yeah.
His mother, Bezos' mother.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, so great work, Zach.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Zach, man. Take care. And again, he's in the news on the 38 date numerology for being dead. But yeah, another 73-46 thing. I gotta go get Sweet Girl, you guys. Thanks again to everyone who hit the like and the share. I appreciate those who are still coming around, because it seems like with each passing month, the viewership goes down further and further. It wasn't that long ago that I thought it was pretty bad when I was averaging 250,000 views a month, and now it's down to less than 200K views a month. So the more time goes on, the worse the views get. And yeah, I mean, I could explore other platforms. I'm not doing a great job with that, but I don't know. I like, I don't want to run away from YouTube, because I know that's what they want me to do. Let me see here. Yeah, I guess I can just end the stream, but let me say thank you to the super chatters. Last chance to support the work. Thank you to everyone who does. Open up. Again, says Villanova shooting 13 months and 8 days after the Trump hoax. We're in the time of Leo. Moon is also in Leo today. Interesting. Because yeah, no doubt he's synced with the Pope. John, always with the big 2. Your work is known by more than we know. Great work. Appreciate that, John. Great stream. Zach says Leper Messiah, who's always so consistent. And Dale with another big 2. Thank you again, Dale. It didn't have to be you, my man. You're always there, but I greatly appreciate it. All right, True Seeker, please do hit the like on the way out of here. We don't even have 100 likes, and I find that quite disappointing, because this knowledge was definitely worth at least 100 likes in this presentation. Yeah, we'll leave it there for today, you guys. Thanks again to everyone who helps get out the word. Yeah, it might be redundant, but the problem is the world needs to know about how redundant it is. because then they'll start to see through what's going on day after day, week after week. And real quick, I just do one more quick scan. I got them all sheltered in place. It's funny how when you're a parent, all your ads turn into baby formula. All right, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I gotta go get a sweet girl, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again to everyone who did hit the like. We eclipsed 100. I appreciate that. If you can hit it on the way out if you haven't done so, it might help a new person find the work. If you think new people need to find this work, you can help make that happen. Just hit the like, leave a comment. Thank you so much, and until next time.